In the southern island of Kyushu, Kumamoto was home to the once powerful samurai clan, the Hosokawa. They were known for their sword making, a craft that has survived for centuries, but it's a skill that's fast disappearing. There are different stages in this delicate process, from forging of the blade to polishing it. The final phase, making of the handle and sheath, all done by hand. Hans Koga is from Sweden. He moved to Japan in 2012 to learn the craft from his master, using the traditional methods and tools handed down for generations. Today, he's been asked to restore this centuries-old sword, a task entrusted to only a few.
For centuries, the ancient art of sword craftsmanship has been done by the Japanese. But as their number has dwindled, the industry has started to embrace a foreigner. The question is, will the rest of Japan follow suit?
A handful of companies have.
So they managed to do it. They put like a very long component.
You may not realize, but this is a rare sight in Japan. A group of mostly foreign engineers having their daily meeting in English.
If you want to have ad-free music or ad-free videos.
E-commerce giant Rakuten is one of a few firms which adopted English as its office language not too long ago. The company called it Englishnization. It needed to tap overseas talent because it couldn't find enough English-speaking engineers at home.
I was aware that Rakuten has Englishnization project, so in work I have to speak English. So that was one comfort I already had, that okay, I don't have to speak Japanese at work.
Englishnization for Rakuten is a major driver to recruit and retain the talents. Right now, we have 2,300 engineers in Japan. Over half of them are foreign tech talents. Recently, 70% of new hires are non-Japanese.
8 years on, the transition is still ongoing.
Guess what this room is? It looks a little bit like a confession room, doesn't it? But this is where staff of Rakuten can come to study English or any other languages during the office hours.
As we always say,
The final practice session at the annual Dragon Boat race in Tokyo.
3, 4, 5.
And Rakuten is one of a few companies in the race with international participants. That's because, unlike Rakuten, the Japanese workplace is still very much homogeneous. From April, the government will allow more foreign workers in selected sectors. But there was strong resistance, not just from lawmakers, but also the public. So the government had to phrase it as a temporary solution, not as an official immigration policy.
Surprisingly, in this global environment, a lot of Japanese people still feel a bit uncomfortable in terms of accepting foreign people and foreign workers on a permanent basis. The Japanese government increasingly try to issue visa and accept more workers. But eventually, the government really have to think about how to utilize those talent on a full-time basis and accepting their families, and on a permanent basis. Just accept them as a Japanese. First two lectures.
Professor Sayuri Shirai teaches international finance at Keio University. She thinks while accepting foreigners is crucial, there are other untapped talent in the Japanese economy. Women. But she says that the society's expectations on roles of women and men need to change.
We have to change people thinking about female workers. The women really still have to take the balance between works and in life. Women are still the major person who take care of children and houseworks. So in order to improve the female workers' productivity, we cannot really demand many working hours. Now, if the woman will start to work on a full-time basis, then men also have to share the housework. But that kind of mentality is still lacking.
And I only have to look at my family to understand why. My mother, like her mum, was a stay-at-home mum, and that's been the norm for generations of women here. But now, unlike in my father's time, men can no longer support the whole family on a single income because real wages have not increased. There's pressure on women to join the workforce, but this is a new trend, and I'm still the odd one out at family gatherings like this. Prime Minister Abe has